Hi guys, and welcome back to week 4. This week we're going to be talking a little bit about water filtration in our survival situation. I'm going to show you how to make a really quick way to filter your water to get all of the major impurities out of it. Now when we're done, this wouldn't actually be drinking water because it would have to be boiled, but this is how we get all of the particulates or the microbes, the little floaty things that you find in water, out of it. What we're going to use is a bottle, and I've cut the bottom off of the bottle. It's just a water bottle. I've got a couple of rubber bands. I have a piece of coffee filter. I have something a container to catch my water in. I have some small rocks, sand, and charcoal. Now charcoal's interesting. I could find sand and rocks along the bank of the creek. The charcoal actually came from the campfire, and I've just broke it down into really small pieces. And then I rinsed it out to get any powder charcoal that was in it out. So let me show you how we're going to put this together. So we're going to take our water bottle, and we're going to take our piece of coffee filter, and we're going to put this right on the bottom of the bottle. And we'll take one of our rubber bands, and we're going to put it right around the bottom. This to fit just right. I want this nice and snug because I want the water to pass through the filter. So get that down on there good. Nice and tight. Okay. So now my water has to pass through that filter. All right, to this I'm going to first add my charcoal. And this is the charcoal that I'm using, and it's just broken up into really tiny pieces. And I'm going to put that in there. Now when I'm building this filter, I don't want to fill it up to the top with all of these materials because I got to be able to get water in here too. So I'm just going to put in about 1/3 of my charcoal. Next I'm going to add a really fine sand, and that's going to go right in on top of the charcoal. And I don't want to shake this because I don't want my sand to go down through my charcoal. And this is going to take out some different pieces or parts of material that's in the water. Let's just kind of level that out a little bit. I don't want that packed down, by the way. So now I have my charcoal and I have my sand, and last is going to be my rocks. And I don't think I'm going to need all of these. I think that's going to be about enough. All right, so what we have here is our rocks, our sand, and our charcoal. Now, each of these has a different purpose. If I were to take water that looks like this, if you look very closely, you can see floaties. So what happens is I pour this water in the top, and the rocks are going to catch any big things. So if I had twigs or leaves or bugs, that's what the rocks are going to catch, all those big things. Then the water is going to go down through the sand. It's going to catch all of the very fine things, a lot of little bugs, some of the algae that we see in this water. That's going to get caught up in the sand. And then the charcoal is actually going to work as a bit of a neutralizer and hold back some of the bad bacteria. All right, so I need to capture what I'm pouring out, so I'm going to set my filter up in this jar, and I'm going to readjust my camera so you can see, and I'll be right back. All right, so we're all set up. We've got our nasty water, we've got a collection jar, and we've got our charcoal, sand, and gravel filter. Basically what we do is we pour it in the top. Let's see what happens. Now you can see it soaking into the sand. I'm going to just fill the top up And obviously it's going to take a little bit of time for that water to go down through the sand because the sand is packed so tight. So we can see that happening. And once the water has traveled through the sand, it's going to travel through the charcoal, which is tiny little pieces. And it should take a couple of minutes. We should see it coming out the bottom. And there it is, it's coming out. I'm going to put in a little bit more. And the pressure of the water on top helps force the water through the filter. Now, if we were in a survival situation, we wouldn't just run the water through this one time. We would actually run it through it several times before we actually took the water to the fire to boil out. And the reason we boil it is even though we're getting all of the particulates or the little floaties that we see in the water out, and some of them that we can't see, it doesn't kill the bacteria, and we need to kill the bacteria that's in the water in order to drink it. So we would do this process of filtration, and then we would take it to our campfire where we would put it in a pot, and we would get it good and hot so that it was boiling or bubbling, and we'd let it bubble for at least a minute. It'd be better if it was 2 minutes, and then let it cool, and once it's cooled, then you would be able to drink it. Now I don't know if you can tell very well in this picture, but the water is coming out much clearer. It is not as yellow as the other. Now remember, I said we would do this multiple times before we actually got it to a clear enough state that we could drink it. Alright, I wanted to show you my end result. So this is our original water that we used. Very yellow, very yucky, has some floaties. I ran it through the filtration system, and this is the second water that I got, and that's pretty clear. And then I ran it through a third time, and it's crystal clear. Now this water, I would feel comfortable after having boiled for a couple of minutes on my fire. I would feel very comfortable drinking that water. So you can see, very yucky and yellow, slightly yellow, crystal clear. And that is how you make a filter.